We're going to go ahead and get started. Your time is valuable, I know, and I want to make sure that I don't waste it, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for coming this evening. IB kind of mandates that we have some sort of meeting like this to make sure that incoming sophomores into the program understand what the program is and how they can best work with it. You all should have picked up a packet of information with your child's name, and we'll be going through most of this stuff today. I'm going to talk fast. I apologize for that, but we have a lot to get through, and I'd rather listen to you and try to answer your questions than hear myself talk. So we will try our best to get through as quickly as possible. Hillcrest High School has had the International Baccalaureate program for over a decade, and we're very happy with the results that it brings to students and the things that it does for students. My name is Dr. Brian Bentley. I am the coordinator for Hillcrest High School IB Baccalaureate program for another about 3 months. I'd like to introduce to you Ms. Jessica Sudman, if you could just stand. She has been hired as our new coordinator starting next year. We are so excited to have her as part of the program. She is the middle years program and primary years program coordinator at Channing Hall Charter School. So she has a lot of experience with IB, a lot of experience in education. So make her feel welcome, please. Like I mentioned, this is a sophomore induction to make sure that you have a good understanding of what we're going to do over the next few years with your students. This is the agenda for tonight. We're going to talk about what the IB program is, how it's instigated here at Hillcrest, IB courses, IB diploma program, IB career program, creativity, activity, and service, and community service learning, the IB disclosure that every student signs to be part of the program, the beginning assignment that all the students will have, and what the fees are and why you should do it. The International Baccalaureate mission statement, many of you have seen in a lot of our information. The International Baccalaureate aims to develop inquiring, knowledgeable, and caring young people who help to create a better and more peaceful world through multicultural understanding and respect. To this end, the organization works with schools, governments, and international organizations to develop challenging programs in international education and rigorous assessment. These programs encourage students across the world to become active, compassionate, and lifelong learners who understand that other people, with their differences, can also be right. The Hillcrest High School mission statement is also very much along those same lines. The purpose of Hillcrest High School educational community is to provide an atmosphere that encourages educational competency, social responsibility, and individual ability. Through educational competency, social responsibility, individual ability, and community involvement. The IB philosophy really boils down to what's called the learner profile. That is your first handout in here, and we're going to watch a little video that kind of goes through the 10 elements of the learner profile that hopefully will give you an introduction to this. Okay. Even the learner profile can be summed up by the aim of all IB programs is to develop internationally minded people who, recognizing their common humanity and shared guardianship of the planet, help to create a better and more peaceful world. Those 10 qualities are extremely important and extremely paramount in our faculty's minds in order to help kids to really be prepared for everything that's going to happen for them after high school. Now, there are 3 different programs that the IB currently holds. The diploma program was the first one, and that's been around for almost 50 years. Now, they've since then added a primary years program, a middle years program, the diploma program, which is what started it all, and the career-related program. The last 2 are in secondary schools, and we have both of them here at Hillcrest. At Hillcrest, there are 3 different options of pathways that students can use to participate in IB. First of all, they can either take just individual courses, or they can take enough of the courses with the other things to do the full diploma program or the full career-related program. Now, as you start next year, there's going to be certain classifications that you're called, juniors. As juniors, you're anticipated students, and you're going to be either anticipated course students, which means that you will be working towards doing individual courses, or you're an anticipated career program student, or you're an anticipated diploma student. And those codes that you see in parentheses are what you'll see on a lot of things that will come out to you. When you're seniors, you will then either be classified as a course student, CR, a career candidate, which is career program, CP, or diploma candidate, which is DP. Now we're going to talk about the courses first because the courses apply to everybody. IB courses, as many of you know, or as you may not know, are grouped into 6 different areas. Language A, which is the language of the country. Here it's English. Language B, which is world languages. Individuals and societies, which is what we call social studies. Science, mathematics, and the arts. As you can see, it's very comprehensive. It's not just science, math based. Courses exist in all of the different areas. Now, with each course, except for one, this is a student-based syllabus that is only taught on the standard level, every other course that we offer here is offered on both the standard level and the higher level. Standard level is abbreviated by SL. It includes 150 hours of teaching, which can be done in 1 to 2 years, depending upon what kind of prerequisites you have coming into the program. The higher level is 2 years of teaching, and that is 240 teaching hours. Now, groups 2, foreign language and math, have more than 2 levels, which we'll get into in a little bit. But there again, it's designed so that you can choose which areas you're strong in to do higher level and which areas that you're not as strong in that you want to study on the standard level. IB assessments. There are different types of IB assessments, and you'll see these things used a lot. First of all, internal assessments, abbreviated by IAs. If you have junior and senior friends, you know they're in hysterics about IAs right now. Okay, these are assignments done here at Hillcrest and are graded by your Hillcrest teacher, and then they're moderated on an international level. Then there are extended or external assessments, EAs. These are assignments done at Hillcrest that are not graded by the Hillcrest teachers, but are sent out to be graded on an international level. Papers and different types of projects. And of course, the final big EAs are the final papers. 1 to 3 exams held in May for each course, according to internationally set schedule. The schedule is set internationally. We don't have any leeway in how we offer those tests. And they are also graded on the international level. The ones that do not have those tests in May are theater, dance, and visual arts. All of their assessments are done by submitted videos or submitted artwork or submitted projects. Now, when you get graded in an IB course, first of all, you'll get the Hillcrest course letter grade, like you do for everything else. A to F based on class requirements, the IB disclosure requirements. These are the things that will go onto your transcript. That's the first grade. The second grade you get is an international grade by the International Baccalaureate Organization, IBO. This are for the courses in the course grade groups, and you get a 1 to 7 grade. They're based on the IAs and the EAs, according to percentages for each course in different ways. So I can't tell you that this percent is for the IA and this percent is for the EA. It's differently for each course. And your instructor will be able to explain that to you right at the beginning. The extended essay and reflective project, theory of knowledge, and personal and professional skills are assigned letter grades A through E, and they also go on your transcript with the other IB grades that you get. Now, remember that your courses in IB are not extra from what you already need to do to graduate from high school. And I'm going to quickly go through that so you can see that and remember that this is not necessarily because you're doing something extra, but these courses count for your graduation requirements. In English, this is the track that we see, and you will see this more in detail on the second handout that you've got in your packet. You take the English, if you're doing the English IB courses, you'll take IB English standard level your junior year, and higher level your senior year. For almost all of the coursework, you will start at standard level, and then you will move the second year to higher level if you choose to do it on the higher level. However, for English, you need to take all 4 years. Why? Because you are required to have 4 years of English to graduate from high school. So you'll go ahead and take the 2 classes, but you will then be able to decide whether you want to test standard level or higher level. So it's only completed during your senior year, but you get to choose which one you're going to do. Foreign language, depending upon the foreign language that you've got, there are 4 levels. If you've not done foreign language or struggle in foreign language, you can do the beginning foreign language, or if you've not gotten past level 3, you would do, or level 2, by the time you end this year, you would do what's called the ab initio at the beginning. The second level is IB language SL, which if you're doing language 3 here, you could do language 4 here in your next year and do SL your senior year. If you're in language 4 now, you can go into IB language SL. You can finish it your junior year if you choose, or you can go on to IB language HL. That's in Chinese, German, French, and Spanish. And I think I saw our Chinese teacher here. I don't think she ever leaves the building. She lives up in Park City, and she's here all the time. She's a wonderful teacher. If you fluently speak another language, you can do that on a self-taught basis, which means you need to meet with me, and we can work with that so that you can do that. Now, some of you know, well, all of you know that some of these languages are offered online in Canyons Virtual High School and also up at the U and also at BYU. If you're saying, you know what, I'm only in language 3 this year, I want to be able to do language 4 over the summer and skip over to this track, that's fine, but you must have the course completed by the end of the summer. You must have it completed in order to jump ahead. Okay? Individuals and societies. The Canyons District requirement is 5 classes. Those 5 classes are covered in the tracks that you see right here. We switch you. A lot of you took your government this year, which is the most efficient way, because you'll now take IB History of the Americas and IB 20th Century World History. It covers all of these classes that you need. You're done. You don't need to worry about any other history requirements for your graduation, including the elective. We also offer, this is the other course work that you must take 2 years, junior and senior year. Again, it's not extra because you're fulfilling these 2 requirements. Your U.S. history, your social studies elective, and your world history. You're fulfilling those 3 requirements through these 2 classes. So it's not extra, but you don't test until the end of your senior year. And then you decide whether you want to test standard level or higher level. So what you've got here are 3 different areas that you cannot test standard level in 1 year. That's English, beginning language, ab initio, because it's a 2-year program, and history. Any of the other ones you can do in 1 year if you get the proper prerequisites done. Other social studies classes we offer, art history, that's only offered on the standard level, psychology and business management. Experimental sciences, all of you have had at least 2 years of science at this point, so you can pretty much decide which area of science you're going into. We've talked about that in our meetings we held a couple of months ago. We offer standard level and higher level in biology, chemistry, and physics. All of those count towards the 3 years of science you need to graduate from high school. So a lot of you could finish your science your junior year if you chose. If science is your thing, though, then we encourage you to go on to higher level. Also, there are 2 other IB sciences that we offer that don't count for science in the state of Utah, but do for IB. But they do count for career and technical education. That's design technology and computer science. Mathematics. This, again, depends on what track you're on right now. Okay? Where you are right here. And we talked about that in our meeting that I had with you, about where you are and where you're going. Again, there are a lot of these courses that are offered over the summer, offered on CBHS, and also offered at the U. You want to do one of those courses there, which we have a lot of students do, and you want to skip a track, that's fine. I'm totally fine with that, but you must have it finished by the end of the summer. Okay? You have to have that done before you're allowed to go on to the next level. Okay? And then the arts. We offer the full complement of the performing arts, of dance, music, and theater, visual arts, IB art history. What you do need to understand is dance, IB dance is taught within Dance 2, Dance 3, and Dance Company. So if you're into those dance classes already, it's a no-brainer. You're going to be able to do the requirements for the IB without taking any extra classes than what you already do for dance. For the other performing arts and IB music, all choir, orchestra, and band classes can count your junior year towards the first year of a 2-year either SL or HL music program. And in theater, Theater 3, stage crew, or productions also can count as for 1 year of a 2-year theater program that you would finish your senior year. Again, either on the standard level or higher level. Okay? Now, in addition to your IB courses, there are other things that this is going to be able to provide for you. If you look on the next handout, first page, we believe here in Hillcrest in doing both IB and AP. Most of your IB classes are going to prepare you for the AP exams as well. For example, next year, most of you are taking the IB English SL. You will be ready to take the Language and Lit exam AP at the end of the year. You're taking History of the Americas, you will be ready to take AP US History exam at the end. This shows you how much each class will prepare you for the AP exam. And we highly encourage you to prepare for the AP exams. If it's only a percentage, talk to the teacher, tell them you want to take the AP, talk to them at the beginning of the year. They will give you the extra information you need to be ready for those AP exams, in addition to the IB preparation you're doing. Your colleges and universities, you'll type it in, look it up, they'll tell you don't get credit for both. That's not been our experience. So I'll get to that a little bit later, but we highly encourage you to take those AP tests as well. Those are our courses. Any questions on the individual courses, which all of you that are doing IB at this point are involved in this one way or another? Any questions whatsoever? Yes, sir.
You mentioned English, Spanish, and government were the only courses that you couldn't do what?
English, foreign language, beginning foreign language, and history are the only IB courses that you cannot complete in just 1 year. It takes both junior and senior years. Okay? The other levels of language you can complete with the right prerequisites in 1 year. And the other social studies you can as well. Okay? Any other questions about the courses? Okay, then we'll go on to the full programs in addition to the courses. The first one, these are the 2 curriculum models. First one we're going to quickly look at for those of you that are involved in the diploma program. You see the internationalism, you see the curriculum has all 6 areas here, and then you see the core, all leading to the learner profile. Approaches to teaching and approaches to learning have to do with the way the curriculum is delivered within the classroom. To qualify for the IB diploma, you have to take at least 1 course from each of these 6 different areas, at least 1. Now there is a caveat with that. Group 6, the arts. You can do the 6th course from the arts and it will count. But if you don't want to do one of the arts, you can do a 2nd course from foreign language or from group 3, doing in addition to history, psychology or business management, or a 2nd science or further mathematics. Hopefully you can see by us offering both standard level and higher level in each area, and this that IB offers to be able to customize that 6th group, this is a program that fits to you. Whenever you meet with the coordinator, one of the first things they're going to ask you are, what are you most interested in? And that's what you should choose to test on the higher level. So back to this list. You take at least one course from each of the 6 with those caveats for group 6. At least 3 of those courses, no more than 4, are studied on the higher level, which will involve 2 years. Usually the track is standard level junior year, higher level senior year. Occasionally, higher level 1 will be offered by a teacher if you have shown already a good, don't know the word, too old, proclivity or aptitude in a certain course. They may ask you to do higher 1, then higher 2. The balance of your courses, whether you do 3 higher level, you have to then do 3 standard level, or 4 higher level and 2 standard level. Courses are what are required to balance out these 6. You may complete up to 2 standard level courses your junior year, with the exception of Group 1, English, the beginning language for Group 2, or history. Any of the others you can complete in 1 year if you've got the proper prerequisites. The remainder of the courses, 4 to 6, depending upon what you do your junior year, are completed your senior year. Additional IB courses can be taken, but they don't count towards your diploma. They actually are called extra courses, and universities look at those kind of the same way that they look at AP courses. The diploma is awarded by adding up those 1 to 7 international scores, and you need to have at least 24 or more points with no failing conditions. And those are explained to you in detail at the beginning of the year next year, what those failing conditions are. Okay? Now the core is the next. You've got those 6 classes. Then we have the core, the theory of knowledge class, the extended essay, and the creativity, activity, and service. The theory of knowledge course is taught 2 semesters, the 2nd semester of your junior year, 1st semester of your senior year. It's a basis for learning. It talks about concurrency of learning, how we learn as a society, what our biases are. There is no fee for this course from IB. It's open to diploma candidates. Second is the extended essay. This is an argumentative research paper. And if you look at the next handout, while I look at this, you have the topic that you choose is a topic of your choice. And there are over 35 different topics you can choose from. You will be drilled into your head that it has to be something that you really are interested in. You get an individual faculty supervisor that will help you over a 9-month period. As you can see, there are many different assignments that go over the summer. You may want to write just sample on this because this is this year's group of juniors. This is their syllabus. Your syllabus will look different next year. But those assignments are designed to take you step by step through this process. You're not just thrown in the deep end and say, ready, have 4,000 words in a week. It's over a 9-month period that you are taken through this. And it's run through TOK, so it's not an extra course, it's not anything. It can be finished if you choose by the end of the 1st quarter of your senior year. Okay? Then there's the creativity, activity, and service. It says action, it should say activity, it's just been changed. And we'll discuss that later. That's the diploma program. There are no other requirements. Do you have any questions about the diploma program? None? Yes.
So all it has to be done in senior year, right?
Which one has to be done? You can do all of your IB exams your senior year, yes. But you can do up to 2 as a diploma candidate your junior year, or as a course candidate.
So junior year, okay.
Standard level, yes.
Is there a list of like easy themes?
You will not, there isn't one here for you now, but there will be next year, yes. And in fact, extended essay has gone through a curriculum change, so there will be a little bit of difference in what you're going to be doing than what they're doing this year, but it's still the same wonderful major project. Any questions? Any other questions? Yes?
If I wanted to do Spanish SL testing next year, would I still have to take it senior year?
No. If you take an SL test, if you've qualified and gotten everything done and take the SL exams, all the assessments your junior year, you do not have to take that course your senior year. No. Yes?
And you do HL testing senior year?
No. HL must be over the 2 years. It's only SL exams that can be done at the end of your junior year. HL exams have to wait for the senior year. Okay, any others? The other full program is the career program, which 26 of you are doing this year. We're so excited. It's a huge jump in our cohort. There is, again, the Outer Circle of International Mindedness, career-related studies, and then 4 elements of the core and 2 diploma program courses, all leading to that learner profile again. Now, this involves over the next year, 2 years, a 2-year career pathway leading to some sort of certification or recognition in that career pathway by a university or by the industry or by the state of Utah. Now, on the other side of that, of the AP are all the different kinds of pathways that we've done before. If you are doing the career program and you have not as of yet met with Ms. Taft in the counseling center to map out your career pathway, you must do that as soon as possible. And meet with her, tell her that you are doing the career program and make sure you've got the classes you need to get certified in that area over the next 2 years. Okay? So you do the 2-year certification. Then you must take 2 IB academic courses. And you have a lot of freedom here. They can be any level and from any area. Hopefully and preferably it's linked somehow to your career pathway. But English is linked to your career pathway. It's linked to every career pathway, the ability to present yourself and speak. You may complete up to 1 standard level course your junior year. Again, that excludes English, beginning language, and history. But you can do up to 1 test, and then the remainder, 1 or 2, you can do your senior year. And you can do up to 2 additional IB courses. Now, why are you allowed to do only 4 IB courses? If you have room to do more than 4, then you're not spending enough time in your career pathway. And this is for you to get certified in your career pathway. CP endorsement is awarded with the completion of the career pathway certification, IB academic courses, and you must get a 3 or better in those courses, and a successful completion of the core. The core involves 4 elements here. The personal and professional skills course, the reflective project, community service learning, and language development. The personal and professional skills class is the mirror of the TOK course, but you are more looking at practical skills in the workplace combined with critical thinking skills, whereas TOK is looking at critical thinking skills combined with practical skills. There's no extra fee for this, and it's only for career program candidates. The second element of the core is the reflective project. There is now a written element part of this reflective project, but it just doesn't have to be written like the extended essay is. It can have other types of things that go along with it, like a PowerPoint or a film script or a film itself or something like that, and that will be explained to you in detail next year. There are maximums of the size for each one of those different elements that you will see next year. Again, you will have a faculty member that will help you on a one-to-one basis. And this must be connected to an ethical dilemma or situation within your career pathway. Every career has different ethical dilemmas, and you will be helped to choose something within your career pathway, and that's what this reflective project is done on. And it's run through the personal and professional skills course. The third element is the community and service learning, which we'll talk about here in a second. And then the fourth element is language development. You must be able to show progression in foreign language over the course of the next 2 years by 1 level. Now you can do that by taking an IB language course, or you can do that through, if you're in Spanish 1, or you can do that through your own work with software and online programs or things like that. You just have to show at least 1 year of development. It can be done in or out of school. Now, if you already speak another language other than English in your home, your English classes here at Hillcrest count for this language development because you already have 2 languages. Okay? That's all the requirements for the career program. Any questions on the career program that I can answer? Yes. Reflective project, if it's just an essay form, it's 3,000 words. If it's essay plus other things, the word count goes down, and the page count or time limit or something you have within that. Okay? Any other questions? Okay. Now, I said I would talk about this later. We're going to talk about it now. CAS and CSL. Miss Kilby, who is our CAS coordinator and our fantastic executive assistant, is the one that usually stands up and presents on this now. She is very ill at home. So the doctor said, you are not going anywhere. So she's left this to me. So here we go. It's learning through experience. CAS stands for Creativity, Activity, and Service. CSL stands for Community Service Learning. And they have a little bit different focus, but are very, very similar. It's experiential learning. And that's what we're going to talk about. Both of these are part of full programs for IB because they know how important this experiential learning is to students, just like your colleges do. In a university you go to, at the higher level of the university, the more they're going to want to see what types of things you do in CAS and CSL. So what are they? They are components that emphasize experiential learning. They're an outlet to enjoy life and apply what you have learned, also a benefit to your community. Creativity, activity, and service. They're about having meaningful life experiences and figuring out who you are. You make a plan, you act on that, you observe, and then you reflect on it. And that applies to all different areas. What is experiential learning? Learning by doing. Learning through emotion. Learning from the actual experience. Learning by extending yourself. Learning by reflecting. All of those different things. Now the focus is on, again, planning, acting, observing, and reflecting. It's anything that happens outside the IB classroom. That includes classes that you take at Hillcrest that are not IB class related. If you take fundamentals of volleyball, it counts. If you're on the volleyball team, it counts. If you're in the choir and you're not doing it as IB music, it counts. If you're in any of the performing arts and not doing that performing arts IB course, it counts. Any of those types of things counts. Your own private lessons at home, martial arts, your own exercise program, soccer league, anything like that, it all counts towards CAS, as long as it fits in one of those areas: creativity, activity, and service. Service projects you do with your church youth group, they count. Leadership projects, they count. Okay? They're not assessed traditionally. It has to do with your reflections and being able to recognize what you've learned from that. Now, that doesn't mean you write a 4,000-word essay on every practice you go for volleyball. No, at the end of the season, you reflect and write a reflection on what you've learned. Paragraph or two. It helps you develop skills of problem solving, responsibility, and accountability. It really does help you leave high school as a well-rounded student. If you're already involved in Hillcrest or your community, you're not going to have any trouble racking up the hours that are needed here. Works out to be about 150 hours for CAS, and I know you're thinking, 150 hours? Really? Really? You're not going to have any trouble doing that unless you live in a hole. Then you're going to have trouble doing that, okay? You cannot start it until the first day of your junior year. So anything you're doing in the summer, keep doing. That's fine. But it won't count for CAS. It starts the first day of your junior year. Or CSL. Now, you'll be asked with CSL to really kind of, again, concentrate on your vocational skills that you're learning in your career pathway. Because you can serve through your vocation. A lot of times we grow up thinking, I have my work, and if I do anything work-related, it's not service. I have to do something completely different to serve. That's not true. You can use those same workplace skills to serve others as well. And you'll be encouraged to do that. This is Mrs. Kelby. Why participate? Because you will like it. And you know what? The kids always express a lot of appreciation for just the exercise of thinking about what they're doing and how it's helping them. What are the benefits? Hands-on learning, direct involvement, provides a platform for the skills you're learning to apply them somewhere. leads to self-confidence, direction, and ethical decision-making, serves to emphasize that there is more to life than academics, gets you away from your computer and away from your textbooks doing other things that are important, and promotes reflective students, opens your eyes to new dimensions of the human environment. Okay? Service is a habit of the heart.
We end tonight with the football play of the month. It was executed with amazing precision by the Eagles, the Olivet Eagles. Steve Hartman has the play and the post-game analysis on the road.
Between classes, they schemed and conspired. For weeks, the football players here at Olivet Middle School in Olivet, Michigan, secretly planned their remarkable play.
Did anybody go, this is a crazy idea?
No, everyone was in on it.
But like the coaches didn't know anything about it. So we were like going behind their back.
I've just never heard of a team coming up with a plan to not score.
It's just like to make someone's day, make someone's week, just make them happy.
The play, which was 2 plays actually, happened at a home game earlier this month. The first part of their plan was to try to get as close to the goal line as possible without scoring, even if it meant taking a dive on the 1-yard line, which it did. The crowd was not happy. Quarterback Parker Smith.
But us kids knew, hey, we got this. This is our time. This is Keith's time.
Keith Orr is the little kid in the brown jacket.
Hug.
He's learning disabled, struggles with boundaries, but in the sweetest possible way.
Hug.
Because of his special nature, it's no surprise that Keith embraces his fellow football players.
Hug, Gabe.
What is surprising is how they have embraced him.
Hello.
We thought it'd be cool to do something for him.
Because we really wanted to prove that he was part of our team and he meant a lot to us. Nothing can really explain getting a touchdown when you've never had one before.
Which brings us to part 2 of their play. If you didn't see Keith, it's because they were so protective of him. But he was in the middle of that rush.
And when you crossed the goal line, what was that like?
Awesome.
It was like, did he just score a touchdown?
Get your camera out.
I'm like, I can't.
Keith's parents, Carrie and Jim, almost missed the moment, but they got the significance.
Somebody's always going to have his back from now until the day he graduates.
She's right. When the football team decides you're cool, pretty much everyone follows suit. Today, Keith is a new kid. Although by no means was he the only one who was profoundly changed.
What was it like for you?
It was like once I saw him go in, I was smiling about here.
Wide receiver Justice Miller.
Like nothing could wipe that smile off my face.
Why did it affect you so much?
Because he's never been cool or popular, and he went from being pretty much a nobody to making everyone's day.
Justice admits the play wasn't his idea.
I would have not really thought about that.
He says it never crossed his mind to give Keith any glory.
Well, I kind of went from being somebody mostly cared about myself and my friends to caring about everyone and trying to make everyone's day and everyone's life.
Which may just make that touchdown the most successful football play of all time. Steve Hartman on the road in Olivet, Michigan.
The whole purpose of this is to help you learn through life's experiences. Not just go through the motions, but to learn through life's experiences. You will be monitored through CAS with Mrs. Kilby, the CAS coordinator, in at least 4 interviews, 2 each year, where she will go over, and there will be a Canvas class that you will submit your reflections onto, that she reviews and goes over with you as you go through this. It's a great experience. Any questions about CAS or community service learning? Yes?
For each of the reflections, do we just have to focus on one activity that we've done, or can we?
You focus on the specific activity, again, to help you understand how that has affected your life. Yes?
So if you, for example, are taking a theater class, if you do any of the musical or anything, that won't count?
If you're taking IB theater, no, it won't. But if you're taking IB theater, you're going to be involved in a lot of other things. Shakespeare team is not part of IB theater. That counts. The school play during the middle of the year is not part of the IB theater class. It counts. So you have so many opportunities here at Hillcrest to make this work for you. Like I said, most of our kids do double, triple the hours just by being involved in what they're doing here at Hillcrest. Okay? Now, the next thing that you see is the IB disclosure statement. I'm going to go over some parts of this that are very important for you to know. Okay? Teachers may adjust these standards according to their own grading policy. Attendance in class is extremely important. You need to be there. You're not there, you are responsible to find out what you missed to make up. Deadlines for projects, quizzes, tests, and like are not waived because you're absent. And I know that's been a habit of a lot of kids through eons of time. They don't have the paper done, they're absent that day. So they have another day. That's not the way it works in IB. Okay, you better send it with a friend or whatever, or email it in. If it's due that day, it's due that day. Make up for assignments and quizzes and things like that are again according to the teacher if you're absent and their own policies. And you must follow their policies. There's a danger. The reason we have this IB disclosure statement, there is a danger of high achieving kids who charm their way through school. You can't do that in IB. Okay? Your grader in Indonesia does not care how charming you are. Okay? And so what deadlines are deadlines. Schedules are schedules. Most of you who have any junior or senior in the IB program right now really see a general air of hysteria going on with a lot of them. Some of them not so much. A lot of them you do. The ones that you do are the ones who kept procrastinating, and now are under the gun. Because IB deadlines, we'll talk about this, IB deadlines for the IB organization are non-negotiable. Okay? Class deadlines are firm. Late work policies are according to the teacher's discretion. Extenuating circumstances are dealt with individually, but it must be, if it's something that happens on that day, you're in a car accident or whatever, deal with it that day if it's all possible. Or some sort of other illness or something that you know of beforehand, you need to work that out beforehand. You will find that most of your IB courses do not have extra credit. We do not believe in extra credit. They may offer you opportunities to retest or redo, but not extra credit. So don't go at the end of the quarter and say, I'm at a B+, what can I do to get an A? Or I'm at a C-, what can I do to get an A? Nothing, man. Okay? What you can do is get in your TARDIS and go back in time and redo it at the right time. Okay? But not always very practical. Okay? So please, get things done. The best advice I can give you is start a project, assignment, a study the day it's given, not the day or day before it's due. Okay? All classes for high school graduation that are not covered in IB courses must be either in your senior schedule or completed by the first day of your senior year. In other words, a lot of you are saying, I'm going to do financial lit online. I'm going to do this online. I'm going to, great, do it. Do it this summer. You're going to be happy about that. But whenever you do it, it has to be done by the first day of your senior year, or you will not be registered with IB in your program until it is done. We got very tired of 4.0, 3.9, IB graduates, great diploma, trying to finish health the night before graduation. Okay? Not going to happen. You have to have it done by the first day of your senior year. Okay? And this next summer is the most opportune time to do that. And CVHS, Canyons Virtual High School, has a ton of classes that you can do. Single year standard level. If you want to complete a standard level course in 1 year, either your junior year or even something your senior year, you can do that as long as you have the right prerequisites. But you need to understand that you also have to complete an extra 30 hours of face-to-face time with your instructor. Now, how that looks is different for every class. Okay? They can be completed through student labs, that all of the science you have to do anyway. Student support time before school on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Reviews, virtual lectures, rehearsals, things that they may have you watch. Your teacher will tell you what those 30 hours look like. Why? Because you have about 125 hours in class. IB wants you to have 150 hours of instruction, and there are extra things you're going to need to do in 1 year if you're going to do it in 1 year, and that is part of the course. And that goes on, you have to have at least 9 hours completed by the first quarter, 18 by second quarter, 27 by third quarter, and then the rest, the last 3, by the end of fourth quarter. Why so much at the beginning? Because by the time we get to the end of third quarter, all of your IAs are done. And so you need to have put in the work before you do that, okay? Again, failure to complete this can make you not be able to finish that course in 1 year. You may have to take a second year, okay? And this is based again on adjustments by the teacher. Depending upon what work you may have done up to this point, what experience you may have up to this point in that subject area, all of that works out individually between you and the teacher. So at the very beginning of the year, you got to ask them, what are my 30 hours? What do I need to do for that? Okay? And again, I know that sounds like a lot. It really isn't. It really isn't. It's just putting a name onto what you're already going to have to do to complete any of these courses. Okay? Internal and external assessments done by E are required for any student who takes an IB course. You can't say, oh, I'm not going to test. No. It's not like AP, where you can take the course and then decide whether or not to take the test. All the assessments are integrated through the whole year, and it's part and parcel of what you're doing in the class. Okay? If you're doing it over 2 years, you may be required to do those internal assessments each year, because some of them will be treated as practice. Some of them, some teachers and some programs may take 4 or 5 different ones you've done over the course of the 2 years, and you choose with them your best one. There are lots of different things, but you will be required to do assessments that are IB-based all through the course. Okay? Those assessments that will be submitted to IB according to their standards the year you complete the course. And the fees that are associated with the IB courses are required, but you only pay them the year you submit those assessments. So if it's a 2-year course and you're not going to test it until your senior year, you don't pay any IB fees until your senior year for that course. Okay? All internal and external assessments are considered summative assessments, which means that they are final type of things and projects that will go towards your grade. They must go through the individual teacher. You cannot come to the coordinator and say later, after the due date, my teacher's not going to let me turn it in. Can I turn it in here? No. No, it must go through the teachers. All of them will receive points for your class here at Hillcrest and be submitted for the final grade. Hillcrest class grade for late work is according to individual teacher policies, according to what your teacher's policies are. I do not try to negotiate with me this year or Miss Sudman next year to do that. What your teacher does is what your teacher does. Okay? Now, as per strict IB guidelines, you are going to see assessments due, those IB assessments due, all the way from November to March. Okay? IB requires that of us. Not all of them due in March, just before we have to submit to IB. Why? Because we're not in the business of killing kids. And if we had all of your internal assessments due, all our classes in March, you would be dead. Okay? They have to be spaced out. When they are due to IB is not relevant to you in any way, shape, or form. Because when I said due in March, that's the final one. Final one is mid-April. So there's due dates from IB as well. That's not relevant to you. What's relevant to you is when it's due for your class. And you must get it in. Those deadlines allow teachers time to grade those IAs before they have to submit their grades to IB. Now, you're obligated to follow those due dates. Late work is again dependent on the teacher's policy. However, once the IB deadline is passed, we may be required at any time after that IB deadline with your teacher is passed for us to submit it to IB. And once we have submitted a class's work to IB, there is no, they accept no late submissions. None. None at all. So your safest and best bet, follow the due dates of your teacher. Okay? Follow those due dates, get it done, and then you won't be in the hysterical position that some of your friends, juniors and seniors, are in right now, trying to do 3 or 4 things all at the same time. Okay? Now, the IB will accept for extremely extenuating circumstances, illnesses, things like that. But that has to be dealt with when it happens or before. If it's a condition you know it's going to cause problems. And IB is very accommodating with those, but those are extreme circumstances. And you need to deal with it with the coordinator in the IB office as soon as you find out about anything like that. If you don't get an IA or EA in, it will result in an N grade from IBO, which means not completed. It doesn't matter if you got 7s on every other element of the course. If you didn't turn in this one IA, you didn't complete the course. Okay? It's again not that negotiation thing that some of you done with your teachers where, well, I've gotten A's on everything, and if I don't turn in this last assignment and I do well on the final, I'll still get an A, so I'll be okay. That's not the way it works in IB. Okay? If you get an N, you have to do some sort of remediation to get that taken care of if you want that taken off. And that's through retakes, and we'll talk about that in just a second. All elements of IAs and EAs, again, like I just said, but even within each individual thing, must be completed for it to be done. If you have to do 3 labs, you can't say, well, I'm only going to do 2, and I'm going to do really well on the 2, and I'll be fine. You can't do that. You can't do that. You have to turn in all 3 labs. Okay, you have to submit something for every element or partial element of an internal assessment or an external assessment. Again, if any parts or sections are not complete, it's not submitted and you get an N. Okay? IB fees for a class are non-refundable after the 15th of January. So if you decide to don't get in your IA later, you don't get a refund on your money. It's gone. That's not our policy, that's IB's policy. Okay? And fines will be submitted for unpaid fees. And that's a whole other thing that you'll learn about next year. Now, if you do put yourself in a situation where you don't get the grade you need or you end up getting an N and you want to do a retake, as a junior, you can do that by retaking the exam on all the assessments your senior year. If you're a senior and you can do retakes either in November or May of the year after your senior year. You have to pay a new course fee to redo it, even if you got an N. And for graduated seniors, you have to pay a new registration fee as well, unless it's approved by IB due to extreme illness or disability. And then they will work with you on that. If as a junior you're deciding to retake, you may need to retake the class. What's the safest thing? Get things done on the due dates, on time. Just get it done. Just get it done. Start it the day it's given, not the day it's due. Okay? All students, any students may enroll in an IB course as long as the prerequisites are there except for theory of knowledge and personal professional skills that are full program. Students have to maintain a C grade or better in the classes to continue on in the class. You may be placed on academic probation and or pulled from the class if your grades drop below that and stay below that. Okay? It's evaluated on a quarter-by-quarter basis. For the full program students, in order to be registered your senior year to complete that full program, you must have done all the standards that we've talked about so far in your program. You have to stay up to date with the deadlines, including the independent projects, the extended essay, reflective project, community service, creativity service, and everything. And those registrations have to be done in fall of your senior year. So you can't say, oh, I'll finish it later. No. Those you have to be up to date on your deadlines. All of the IAs and EAs must be turned in according to the guidelines of your teacher, All your career-related certifications must be completed or on the way to be completed. And you must have all of your other high school graduation requirements either completed by the first day of your senior year or in your senior year schedule, without it conflicting with an IB course. I will not register you as a diploma or career candidate if you still have financial lit hanging up there that you haven't done and it can't fit in your schedule. And I'll do it. I promise. Good for you. I'm not going to register you as a full program student until it's done. Why? Because your counselor will take you out of an IB or an AP course or any other course that is not required for you to graduate and put you in that course your second semester. Again, we've been burned too many times by financial lit and health grades coming in 2 hours before graduation. Okay, or promise that they would come in and they really don't. Okay, so they will put you in that class and they will take you out of that IB class, which means you won't qualify for the full program. That's why if you don't have a plan in place to have done by those deadlines, I will not register you as a diploma student or a career program student. Okay? That kind of covers everything that we've talked about in the disclosure statement, except for the last thing. It talks about an introductory assignment that you're going to do, and that's the next handout. I forgot to bring the book. I'm telling you have to read a book in a week, and that's going to scare you. It's not. It's a small book, very easy read. It's written by a former IB student. Talks about different aspects of the program that are going to help you understand what you're getting into and how to best do it. This is a young man who got 44 out of 45 total IB points at the end, and that's really quite amazing. Okay, he really, and we only have so many books, so you have an opportunity to check it out on a Tuesday, and by the next Monday you need to have it back to the library. They're on reserve, which means you can't just go into the stacks to find the book. You have to go to the front desk of the library and say, I want this book. I think, therefore, I am. What is it? I think, therefore, I be. I'm old. Anyway, and you can see, according to your last name, the schedule of which week you have the opportunity to take that out. You're to read the book, take Cornell notes on it, and turn it into us. Now, to help you with this little project, the Holdsworths are going to love me saying this. It's written by somebody in England, so it's in Brit speak, okay? Most of you will not be in any way familiar with Brit speak at all. So I've compiled a glossary, first of all, for you to know what some of these terms mean when he talks about them. I then also to clarify some things in each chapter that he talks about that apply a little bit differently to each school, differently in how it applies here at Hillcrest. So I've given you the Brit speak and the Yankee speak for you to be able to understand what that is. Okay? That assignment and that disclosure statement must be both turned in, signed disclosure statement, the assignment done according to that schedule that you see on that assignment. Do you have any question on the disclosure or any of that? Just have a couple of things. Almost. Okay? Fee schedule. A lot of what I've gone over is contained in this, what's called the general information packet. But we're going to skip, I've gone over a lot of what's in the front here, but we're going to skip that to the back with the fees. Okay? First of all, we do ask every year for a donation. If there's any way you can donate $35 to $50 every year, we have a financial aid program that is extremely important to Hillcrest. If you have a business that will match donations, if you have we've had people, Fidelity Investments, somebody worked for Fidelity Investments, they will give $1,000 a year to something, and we've gotten that several times. Why we do that, I'll explain in just a second, but it's very important. It's vital to being able to run this program like we do here at Hillcrest. Again, the required IB fees are only due the year you finish the course. Okay, so if you're going to take all 6 courses and finish them your senior year, then you don't have any IB fees next year. What are the fees? First of all, there's a registration fee. For diploma and career candidates, it's one time. You pay it the first year you do assessments, and you don't have to pay it the second year. You wait and do them all the second year, you only pay it the second year. For course students, you pay it each year you do assessments. It goes up every year. I don't have next year's fee schedule yet. It'll be $3 or $4 more than what you see here. But in 2016, that registration fee is $164. There is no refund on that fee after the 15th of November of the school year. So if you withdraw from classes later on, you don't get a refund for that fee. Okay, then there is a course fee. It's only applied for the 6 curriculum group courses. TOK doesn't have a fee. Personal Professional Skills doesn't have a fee. Extended Essay doesn't have a fee. All of those don't have fees. Only those classes from the 6 curriculum groups. It's only paid once the year you do the assessments. So if it's higher level, you do standard level, and you're going to do higher level your senior year. You don't pay the fee until you do the higher level. Okay? This year it's $113 per class. There are no refunds on that after the 15th of January of the school year. So if you get into it in SL and you say, you know what, I really like this, I'm going to do it HL. We can pull it, you'll get the refund for that, 113 or whatever it is next year, dollars, and you can go on and do it higher level your senior year. Or I'm going to do it standard level, but I need 2 years to be ready. We can pull it before January 15th, and then you can get the refund. After January 15th, IB will not refund that at all. Okay? For the career program, you also have fees for your certification courses. And those will be explained to you by your CTEC teacher or Mrs. Taft. But those fees are your responsibility. Okay, as well. Each year's IB fees, if you have fees for that year, are due the last day of October. So next October. The coordinator, Ms. Sudman, will meet with each one of you individually right around midterms of first semester. And you'll talk about what you think you want to do. Do you want to test anything your junior year? What are you going to carry over to your senior year? How are you going to do that? And she'll make a plan with you that you've already seen these plans emailed out to you, right? Yes, those PDFs that will continue to fill in. After that meeting, it'll be emailed again to you with an invoice that will tell you what's due in October, okay? And the international registrations. Those all need to be finalized by the 12th of November, and afterwards late fees apply. Because this is Greenwich time, and when it's a weekend, it's still the 15th of November. They don't then move it to the next Monday. It's got to be done then, okay? And then there are no changes to registrations allowed after the 10th of April, okay? Financial aid is available, and this is where the donations really come in. There will be emails sent out at the beginning of the year next year with specific guidelines. There's an application that will be available and due at the beginning of October. It's awarded based on need anonymously. All of the information we ask for, all numbers, all identifying numbers, names, everything are whited out before it's given to the committee. So it's totally anonymous. It's evaluated by a committee of parents of freshmen and sophomore students so that there's no bias of juniors and seniors because these fees only apply junior and senior year. And you must apply each year if you need the money. And we award anywhere from 25 to 95% to help. We want everybody to have the opportunity to do this. We all know the demographics of this school and where we are. Education is the way out of poverty. And we firmly believe here at Hillcrest that every student should be given the opportunity to do this. If every single one of our families donated $35 to $50, it would more than pay for not just the scholarships, but for all the social activities that we also do with IB students for the year. It would more than pay for it. This last year was just over $10,000, $10,300, $400, I think, that we awarded in financial aid to help kids. So please consider donating, and if you are in need, do this. But know again, the deadlines are the deadlines. You have to get the stuff in and get it ready and going. Okay. Any question on the fees? You can kind of estimate what fees you may have before the invoice based on what I just told you and what you decide in your meeting with Ms. Sudman next year. As to whether you're taking one course or 2 courses or no courses or whatever. Okay? Now, the last area, quickly. Mickey tells me it's 9 minutes after, so I'll... Why do this? I've got this handout here, which talks about 3 different things. Key findings of research for the diploma program. Now, that's going to apply to all of you because you're all taking diploma courses, whether you're a course student, career student, or a diploma person. Talks about the impact. The second one talks about the impact of the whole continuum. And then this is a very interesting research brief on post-high school results that happen with students. What is?
When do the courses start? They start in August, is there like no classes, right?
Just like normal classes.
But I'm going to quickly just review some of these. And you need to understand, statistically, these studies, not just done by IB, but done by outside things, the statistics are huge. When you've got 2 or 3 point statistic differences, that's not huge. When you've got 20, 15, 20, 30 points difference, that's huge. And I'm just going to go through some of the benefits that are shown by studies for you participating in this. Students rate themselves higher in academic and behavioral and emotional engagement while in high school. These are IB students, whether they're course, CP, or DP. The IB standards are very closely aligned with what college and universities want. If you get a 6 or a 7 on an IB exam, you are much more likely to earn an A in that college course. Students have higher grade point averages and graduate at higher rates in college than comparison groups across all income groups. Performance in the diploma program is the best predictor of anything for college success. Any other thing, AP, anything. IB, if you're in IB, you have a better chance of succeeding in college. Acceptance rate to university is 22 percentage points higher for IB students than the general population. SAT scores average 150 points higher for IB students than they do for the general population. It's up to 15 percentage points higher for students enrolling in 2 to 4 year institutions of higher learning. Students enrolling in select universities and students in select research universities. Up to 15% higher acceptance rate for IB students than general population students. 81% of IB students graduate from college within 6 years compared to 57% across the board. That's huge. The extended essay and recent research has a very positive effect on students' research and ability and confidence and willingness to engage in future research, and research will be part of college. The study of Chicago public schools is huge. I really talk about this in my IB meeting with parents, and I encourage you to look at it. But these were inner city schools, 11 schools where they put the full continuum in. And what it did for those kids in inner city Chicago was amazing. How much more likely they were to go to college, to finish college, to graduate from high school, to be involved in upper level courses is huge. I'm not going to take the time to do it again because I do that a lot. Okay? From 2010 to 2015, this is a list of all of the colleges and universities that our students have been accepted to from Hillcrest, from the classes of 2010 to 2015. You have to understand that having an IB course or an IB program on your transcript is huge. It's a huge gold star to universities. And the better the university, the more import they put on this for you to have this. And if you're looking at applying at an upper level university and they know that you're coming from an IB school, because they will, because the school always has to send with your application and transcript what our school demographics are, If they see that you didn't take advantage of it, that actually ends up being to your detriment. These universities all will give you some sort, look at it so highly. That list went by very fast, but we had kids accepted to every single Ivy League school in this country. And not just the best and the brightest. Some first-generation college students that were accepted to Ivy League schools. Credit awarded. This only goes to 2013 because the last 2 years I've not been able to get my seniors to return the survey. It's not the seniors, it's the alumni. I don't know why. But out of the 46 students that responded between the classes of 2010 to 2013, 57 total students, an average of 23 hours of college credit were awarded for IB classes only. And when you include not just the diploma kids, but also the kids that took individual courses, they still got up to 20 hours of college credit, an average of 20 hours. An average of 41 hours of college credit for all exams and AP exams that their IB classes prepared them for. When you averaged in the course students that didn't take as many, it was still an average of 36 hours. What does that equate to? At least a year to a year and a half of college, done, finished, before you walk out these doors in 2 years. It's huge what this can do for you. But our records, 3 universities here in Utah, one, I'm not going to name them, but this one's just north of us, 60 hours of college credit. One further north up in the mountains, 69 hours of college credit. And one just to the south of us, 84 hours of college credit. 2.5 years of college before he walked out of these doors. Scholarships. This I am able. I make my students fill out the survey before I walk around during graduation rehearsal and yell at them and tell them to get their surveys in. Out of the 495 respondents in the 6 years that I've been keeping statistics, 34 million plus in scholarships in average. And these are both course students and DP students. An average of almost $70,000 per student of scholarships offered. It's a huge gold star on your scholarship applications. We have so many resources to help you succeed. Go to the website. There's so much information for you on the website, and this just is not projecting very well. But these are all separate pages of the IB website. One page for courses, one page for DP, one page for CP, one page for art. There are so many different things that we have online for you to help you get through this. In our handouts page, again, it's not showing up very well, but all of the handouts that you see today will be available PDF on this. All of these different things that you can get. And in addition to a recording of this presentation and other presentations that you can refer back to. We also have a password-protected site that all of you will get access to that includes excellent extended essays for examples for you to use, for you to be able to see how to write an extended essay. Plus, the last 8 years of every single IB exam and the rubric they use to grade. Now, that isn't something you need to keep on the QT because we're not providing. No, IB is very transparent. We are able to buy these discs every year, about 4 months after the exams finish, and we are authorized to publish it to our IB students. So you can download any of these exams and the rubric, practice it, use it to be able to know, understand where you are in the class, grade it according to the way they would grade it, and see exactly where you are. We try to do everything we can to help you succeed in this program. Everything we can. IB courses will prepare you for college as well or better than any other program. I can promise you that. The IB diploma is designed to prepare you for college and university studies in the very best way possible. The IB career program is designed to prepare you for employment, apprenticeship, further technical training, or university training in your career pathway. This will be an educational, informative, instructive, and can be a lot of fun if you choose to make it that way. Okay? Me and Mrs. Kilby are available, at least over the next 3.5 months or whatever, 2 months, are available to help you in any way we can. And after that, Ms. Sutherland's ready to step right in to help you any way we can to succeed in this program. The faculty are willing to work with you one-on-one if needed. They really seem intimidating. You go talk to them personally. They will do anything as long as you do everything you can to help you succeed in this program. Student support time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, is extremely valuable to you. We also offer tutoring services. All of our seniors are available in different ways to tutor people. Our mission is really to help you succeed. That's what we're about here. It's not an obstacle course that we're going to sit back and laugh at you. It's not. We want you to succeed in this. So I want to welcome you to this program and encourage you to do your best. There's a short video that we're going to play that just kind of sums up everything that we're doing.
The International Baccalaureate means to me my studies, my education. I personally think is a program that's going to prepare me best for university and eventually a successful future.
Learning about things that will make you a more rounded person.
I guess a breadth of learning, so learning math, science, the humanities, maybe the arts.
Otro tipo de exigencia, la verdad. Porque, por ejemplo, en las pruebas uno estaba acostumbrado a que te preguntaran lo mismo que te habían enseñado. Y en esto te pasan las herramientas, básicamente, pero después tú en las pruebas tienes que aprender a cómo usarlas.
It pushes a holistic vision of education, one that emphasizes the student as an interpreter rather than as a recipient.
And what it allows us to do as professionals working in this area is actually help our students to become international citizens, really, through an academic program.
The most enjoyable part of the International Baccalaureate for me, I think it's just the challenge.
Como una oportunidad de como abrir fronteras, por así decirlo, y es más que nada un reto y como experiencias distintas a las que comúnmente se vive acá en el colegio.
I think it's important for the program to have so many different elements, like the theory of knowledge, the creative action and service, and the extended essays, because it actually really helps the students at the university level. By being creative in different formats, they can lend different skills to different subjects.
Yeah, so I'm actually really excited about the extended essay. I want to do mine on Shakespeare.
You choose any subject you want. It can be in any of the International Baccalaureate subjects.
The extended essay promotes a very high level of research. It's a intellectual discovery and creativity, and gives a person an opportunity to write on a topic that he wants or he's interested in.
This extended essay is a mini thesis. It's a doctorate, but at the level of these children.
Theory of knowledge is a course based around the question of how do we know.
It's designed to make you a critical thinker, so you don't just accept facts or things necessarily the way they're presented to you. Think about it more.
Es muy distinto y es una de las pocas materias que en otros colegios no se imparte y es una de las cosas como especiales que tiene el diploma.
The IB, more than any course I've ever come into contact with, demands personal responses, requires students to unpackage things. That for me is why theory of knowledge is at the center. It's a constant questioning of the syllabus all around in all subject areas.
For me, Creativity Action Service is a program which is meant to prepare you more for your university, not just studying and being quite selfish in yourself.
And so you're not only focusing on your grades, you're also focusing on your creativity. Like there are some activities such as photography. You're also working on your action, your sportsmanship, teamwork, and service, I think, is one of the most important things.
It made me grow up in ways I couldn't imagine. Like from helping the disabled riding ponies, or from coming to school and playing soccer every Saturday. It really has made me a better person.
I think the service helps you get in touch with the society, get in touch with those who need it, those who aren't as privileged as us.
Y que a pesar de ser un elemento obligatorio, me ha abierto muchas puertas a entender lo que es la entrega social.
Involves you giving to the community and not, doing it for your own benefit.
Y es parte fundamental del diploma, luego que te incentiva a crecer como persona íntegra.
I mean, this is what school's about. It's about learning to be with different people from different cultures. And I think the IB really shows you that this is what you should be doing as a child.
So it's taught me to be disciplined, but it's also taught me about myself and how I can accomplish everything that I think I would like to do.
I enjoy it because it's rigorous and I know I'm getting a good education, but at the same time it allows, especially the creativity, action, and service program, allows for you to have a learning outside the classroom. It really encourages you to become a rounded person.
You get all this work, you get all these challenges, and then it sort of ends up being fun just working your way through it.
Many universities are realizing the value of IB and IB students. They find them well-rounded. They find scope, they find depth, they find skills, they find leadership, they find confident students. So they'd like these students to come and join them.
I feel very lucky to be in this program, and that at the end of these 2 years I want to have something that's going to open so many doors, and I want to have a lot of opportunities.
Now the world is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. We expect our students to travel everywhere in the world, when they actually start working professionally. And I think that the IB is preparing them for the future they're going to have.
Are there any final questions that I can answer for anybody? Okay. Thank you so much for coming today. Give me just a minute here.